In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I eat in a day to keep my blood glucose levels stable and low. And we're going to track it all with my CGM. But first, coffee. So let's start with breakfast. I want to have something high protein, but I want to have a few healthy carbs in there to give me some good energy. When I first woke up this morning, my blood glucose was 104. And I have come straight downstairs to make breakfast. So we're going to start at 104. I crack a couple of organic eggs. I'm gonna whip these up really well. So if you've watched my Wednesday videos where I test a certain food and see how it affects my blood glucose levels, the whole reasoning behind this is because I had a grandfather who passed when I was very young, and he had a stroke. He was in his 70s. And then I remember after that, there was so much talk about him having diabetes after the stroke. I'm not sure what order this occurred in, but it's just always made me really conscious of diabetes. And now I'm learning much more about blood glucose and how insulin works and all that. So I've been wearing a CGM the last few weeks just to test things out and just to see how different things affect my body. So I'm really getting very good at figuring out how to keep my blood glucose steady and low. And that's what we're going to do today. Eggs are almost ready. I get the Vital Farms pasture-raised organic eggs. These are really good if you can find them. Whole Foods had been out of them for quite a while, and I managed to score 2 boxes this week. I was excited. While I'm making the eggs, I have organic sugar-free bacon, or no added sugar, I should say, bacon cooking in the oven. I've been doing this a lot lately, and it's so easy, less messy, and you don't have to be on top of it all the time like you do making bacon in a pan. And so I just made the whole package. That way, if anyone else in the house wants to have some for breakfast, they can. If not, it can be left over for a BLT or tomorrow morning's breakfast. Okay, so I just took the bacon out of the oven, and I will show you that in just a second. Right now, I'm going to get the scrambled eggs started. I've already sprayed the pan with coconut oil, and I like to keep the fire. I like my scrambled eggs kind of soft, so I like to keep the fire sort of low, and I really like to keep a close watch on them. I'm going to use my Cute Aquarius spatula today. Put those in. I just barely let the pan just heat up to very low. Of course, if you like your scrambled eggs hard, you can do that however you want. I wouldn't even know how to make that way. So this will take a little bit of time. So while I'm doing that, I want to get my little bowl of berries ready. Then I'm going to wash them. So I love blackberries, and they're really good this time of year. Sometimes they just don't have that much flavor, but right now they've been super tart and tasty, and they're full of antioxidants. You know, the more color a fruit or vegetable has, the more antioxidants and goodies it has in it. That's not always true, but most of the time it is. So let's see. All right, I've got several of those. Same with the raspberries. These are all organic, by the way. Super important that you get your berries organic. Oh, these are so good. Big and juicy and soft. Okay, so time for me to start moving my eggs around. Just like to keep moving them so they don't cook too much. Get that fire down super low because these are really almost done. I'm going to finish picking out my raspberries after I finish the eggs. Okay, they are pretty much done. I'm going to put those on the plate. Show you my bacon. It's still hot, and the pan is hot and has hot grease in it. So see, I do a foil-lined baking sheet. I hope you can see this. I put a rack on top, and then I put the bacon on top, and then I cook it at 400 for about 24 minutes. Depends on how you like your bacon. I don't like mine super crispy, so you might want to go, I think the recipe calls for up to 28 minutes if you want it really crispy. So the bacon is ready. Now all I have to do is pick out a few more raspberries, and then I'll be all set. Oh, one more thing. I like to shred a little goat Gouda on top of my eggs. This is goat cheese, Gouda cheese, and I get this at Whole Foods. They just call it goat Gouda. So I'm just gonna grate just a little bit of that over the eggs. Perfect. I'm just finishing up drinking my glass of lemon water as well. So, okay, my berries are washed. I'll let those kind of dry just a little bit. Put those into a bowl. Grab a couple of pieces of bacon. Oh my gosh, the bacon turned out beyond perfect today. What I love too is all the grease drips down to the bottom of the pan, and the bacon is like perfectly straight. This is definitely the way to do it if you're having a brunch at your house or anything like that. Okay, so last thing I want to add is a little avocado. Let me grab that. So I want to have just a little bit of avocado to put with the scrambled eggs. And then when my daughter wakes up today, she can have the rest of it with avocado toast. This avocado looks absolutely perfect. I think I'm just gonna cut out just a small amount. Yeah, that works great. Just got a little wedge of it. The rest of it stays good. Make it super pretty here. And I mean, this is just going to be a small amount that I can put with the eggs. A little slice. And then a little more. Just have that with the eggs. Just to add a little extra healthy fat and break it up a little bit. Eating well to keep your blood glucose level does not at all have to be boring or minimalist or anything. I mean, this is a nice breakfast. And you also don't have to eat the same thing every day as this, but some sort of version of it. You always want to have the healthy proteins in there and the healthy fats. And then I'll have fiber with the berries. And even though berries have some sugar, they're very low on the glycemic index. And the more tart they are, the less sugar they have. And I really only like tart fruit, so that works out pretty well for me. So go enjoy breakfast. So now we're going to go do a 15-minute walk and see how that affects our blood glucose level. I wish I'd gotten started on this a little earlier because it is already super warm outside, but that's okay. It's just a short walk. Something I've been thinking about lately with my blood glucose levels is I keep hearing how intermittent fasting is not that great for women. All the tests that have been done on men, and obviously we have different hormones than men do. So I've been noticing that when I wake up in the morning, my blood glucose is a little higher than I would prefer. Sometimes it's as much as 110 or 120. I've been reading that women have a lot more cortisol first thing in the morning than men do, and that definitely makes your blood glucose go up. So I have been intermittent fasting for probably 6 or 7, maybe even 8 years ago at this point, and they're saying it's just not that great. So I've been noticing when I get up and that blood glucose is a little high, I go ahead sometimes and have something to eat and it goes down right away. So I'm starting to think I may not continue with intermittent fasting. So today I definitely had my breakfast shortly after waking and I feel like it had a pretty good effect. So we'll see. I think my next walk today is definitely going to be at the mall because it will probably be close to 100 degrees after lunchtime. My daughter wants to go to the mall anyway, so I'll probably just walk out there. Do you hear those crazy screeching sounds in my video? Those are cicadas, cicadas, I don't know. But in Dallas, when it starts to get really hot, they make a lot of noise. Our little short workouts that we're going to do today are called exercise snacks. 3 15-minute bursts of energy throughout the day. It can be walking, jogging, riding a bike, playing a little one-on-one basketball in the driveway, whatever it is, but just spread it out throughout the day. Another thing to remember is that your blood glucose will actually go up while you're doing the exercise, just because your heart rate gets up, and that will affect your blood glucose, but then it starts to go down very quickly, not long after you're done with the walk. Okay, and I'm back home. That took exactly 15 minutes. As I mentioned earlier, my daughter and I are on our way to the mall. She wants to do a little shopping, and I'm going to walk some before I join her in the stores. Okay, so I'm almost finished with this walk, and it's worked out to be right about at 15 minutes, and my blood glucose has gone up just a tiny bit, but I'm almost done. So now it's time to make dinner. We are going to have grass-fed fillets. I'm just marinating them a bit right now with a little garlic salt, and that's going to be a ton of protein for us. Each one of those is about 8 ounces, and we're going to have a kale salad. And you may be thinking, kale salad, blah. I'm going to show you the trick on how to make it so delicious. So I've already washed and cut up some kale, and I like to cut it in small pieces because nobody wants a huge, gigantic bite of kale. So put it in the bowl. The next thing you do, you drizzle it with a little bit of good quality olive oil. So I'm going to go over it just a little bit with that. Then you add some sea salt. I'm going to say that's like a 1/4 of a teaspoon. Then you massage it. And I know it sounds completely crazy, but this takes all the bitterness out of the kale, kind of marinates all the pieces of kale with some of the olive oil and the sea salt, which makes it taste absolutely fantastic. So it kind of breaks down while you're massaging it, so you can start to tell when it's not quite as stiff as it was before. And you can also tell when it all feels like it's got some olive oil on it. So that is your big step to making the kale taste great. I'm gonna wash my hands. So that's about 5 cups of kale. I've cut this recipe in half actually because there are only 2 of us eating. So then I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of dried cranberries, or you can do golden raisins. I'm doing the same amount of pistachio nuts. I am doing, let's say, same amount of Parmesan cheese, freshly grated. Not the crumbled kind, but the long grated. Okay, then I'm adding, this is the zest of 1 full organic lemon. So I'm putting all that in. I'm gonna kind of mix it up a little bit with my salad servers. Definitely want to get that lemon zest all over the kale. This is a really refreshing summer salad. Okay, so now we're going to make our own dressing. It is so important that you make your own dressing and not use the bottled dressings. They are full of high fructose corn syrup, terrible seed oils, just a bunch of junk that you don't want, and it is so easy to make your own salad dressing. Okay, so I have this little cool container that this is made by OXO. You can get this on Amazon. I have a bigger one as well, but this is what you make your salad dressing in. You can make it in anything you want, but this makes it easy because you can shake it up. So I'm going to start with 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, then 1/4 cup of good quality olive oil. Then we're going to have 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, or you can use honey if you prefer. Then we are adding 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. You can also add 1/8 teaspoon of pepper if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a big pepper fan, although sometimes with this I will add a little white pepper. But you just put all of that in this jar, make sure the top is closed, and you shake it up. And then you'll be able to pour it directly from this container. I'll shake it again before we get ready to have the salad. And then you can store whatever's left in the fridge. So that is our salad prep. So I've been preheating my grill. It should be ready now. I'm gonna go put the steaks on. And the key to grilling steaks for me is always low and slow, especially when they're that thick. It's a very hot day, so even though I set my grill on low, it is up to 450 degrees. So I'm gonna sear the sides of these steaks at that temperature, and then I'm going to turn the fire down a little bit. Okay, I think these guys are ready to come off the grill. I'm going to put it on. And then since they're so thick, I don't like them too rare, so I like to cover them with some foil to let them rest a little bit after I take them off the grill, and this will let them continue to cook on the inside. Okay, now I'm going to put the dressing on the salad. Like I mentioned, I'm going to shake it up again, get the oil and everything else mixed well. And I'm not even going to use all of it, just enough to moisten. Then I'm going to toss this a little bit on each plate. Okay, and then, now I will tell you that I could eat all 8 ounces of this steak, and it's just even all that much better for my blood glucose, but there is no way I can eat 8 ounces of filet right now. Dinner's ready. And for dessert, we're gonna have a square of dark chocolate dipped in natural peanut butter. So now it's time for dessert, and I'm gonna have 1 square of this 70% dark chocolate with sea salt and almonds. I'm gonna have a square of that, and I'm gonna have a tablespoon of this organic peanut butter, and I'm just gonna dip this in the peanut butter. It's like a really delicious Reese's peanut butter cup, but healthier. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this gives you an idea of some things that you can eat throughout the day to keep your blood glucose level really stable. I've been happy with where mine has been all day. Between meals, it's been at about 102, lower most of the time. So it definitely works. And mine's so low right now, I'm not even gonna do the 3rd walk of the day. As you can see, you do not have to starve yourself. I had huge meals that were colorful and interesting with lots of different things. So you can still have a really great diet without having to sacrifice your blood glucose level. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and don't forget to join me every Wednesday when I try a different food to see how it affects my blood glucose level. Bye now.